Hey, I don't know if we started yet. We're getting close. We're going to be going over the money flow tracker on the Thursday YouTube, December 12th. I'm just going to put up the disclaimer up here so everyone can see it.
One ticker, one trade every week. Hey, millionaire trader Nate Bear here, and today I'm going to demonstrate how you can trade just one ticker once a week for monster gains. Forget about being glued to your monitor all day or searching through thousands of stocks. This involves one ticker, one trade every week. And let me tell you, the research behind this strategy is incredible. I'm talking about top gains of 141%. 333%, and even 2,614%. You got to see the proof for yourself. Click on the link to see my demonstration. I think this is going to change how you approach the markets. Click the link below, and I'll see you there.
Okay. All right. Everyone can see my...
Dispatch, this is Charlie 12 at Times Square. You're not going to believe this, but there's a bull walking down 7th Avenue right now. Wait, there's a bear coming.
The city is up in the madness. The people are...
Okay. Not sure what was going on there. Okay. All right. Everyone can see my...
Dispatch, this is Charlie 12 at Times Square. You're not going to believe this, but there's a bull walking down 7th Avenue right now. Wait, there's a bear coming.
The city is up in the madness. The people are...
Okay. Not sure what was going on there. Okay. All right. Everyone can see my...
Dispatch, this is Charlie 12 at Times Square. You're not going to believe this, but there's a bull walking down 7th Avenue right now.
Okay. I'm just going to turn the questions off for right now. Sorry. Okay, that's the disclaimer here. And I'll try to get the questions up. Let me, if we get a little lull here, I'll do that. Well, here's a disclaimer. Right Line Trading Live Futures Room about trading. Okay, let's get back to my screen here. Looks like I might have had sound on here. Okay, so we're using the money flow tracker here, trading 2NQ on an 8-unit chart. I have a 30 and a 50 range chart. 30 chart creates the pink bias here. The 50 chart creates the stair step, which is the C2. Okay. And then I use a free indicator you can get on NinjaTrader, which is an explosion indicator and a squeeze indicator. And I use the explosion on the 30 and the 50, and I use the squeeze and the explosion on the 8-unit Renko. And what I'm looking for are brushes going up. When I see things starting to make sense, like this, is I'm starting to get the pink bias. I got the spread here. Okay, this is starting to make a little sense to me. Okay, what are my chances of this getting through this volume zone here? Now I'm looking over here. I'm looking for my brushes to get through this explosion area. Okay, and I got a flat 50. Okay, that's gonna, I gotta wait for this thing to turn. Let me see if I can pull up. The YouTube video here. So right now it got rejected.
Do you want to sell your photography online? If so, watch this. In the last 5 years, I've sold over $1 million.
Okay, I gotta figure out how to take the sound off of this. There we go. There we go. Now we're in good shape. Now I can get the questions. All right, just want to make sure the sound is good here. All right. Make sure there's no delay. I don't think there is. All right, perfect. Okay, so we're looking at this candle right here. I'm looking at my money flow tracker. I'm looking at the quants. Okay, the upper quants, higher time frames, correlative markets, and then we've got momentum indicators down here, higher charts, this chart. And this bar here is this chart right here. This is my LIQUIDITY. This tells me when there's a high volume of buyers or sellers coming into the market. Okay, so right now we're kind of flat. We got the flat 50 right here. Now, there's a little tool that you can use, I think, which really helps me, is I go to my drawing tool, and I hit the region, and I'll put it at the top here. Whatever's in this yellow line here, I'll put it at the top and at the bottom here. Maybe one tick below. And then I'll highlight it, right-click, go to Properties, go over here and put it on all the charts. Okay. This tells me that I can't trade here. I can't really trade in this box. I got to be outside it. So if you, and here again, you need to focus when you're trading, but let's say you're multitasking, which I don't suggest that you do. And you have something like this up here, because lots of times, unfortunately, I have to take calls, you know, especially in the morning session when it gets towards the 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, because I've got, you know, challenges I got to deal with at different projects. So I'll have this up on my charts, and I'll just kind of like talk and glance at it, and when it starts to approach the edge, that's when I need to focus. Okay. And that's how I like to do that. Okay, we are good. There's no lag. Because I don't think there is. Well, there looks like there is a little bit of lag. Okay. No news that we have to deal with. We had news about an hour or so ago, which moved a little bit. But for most of the morning, it was kind of a little, I would consider, fairly tight. Kind of difficult morning session, I would say. Right now, I'm just looking for things that make sense. I'm looking for when these start to work together. And what I did is I took the settings that were in the explosion and the squeeze indicator, and I mixed the colors up so it made a little bit more sense to me. You know, I want to see things kind of like this color and growing. We go back and look at where the news was. See, this made a lot more sense. This started growing right here. I got through the VWAP. And so now I'm looking at like 11:16. I'm looking at if it makes sense. And I've got this big brush right here forming in bias. You can't get a better signal than that. And then, because that's the 30 bias in here with a nice big brush, these growing, structure, C2, power dot, quants, fractal going down. You can't ask for more. And then boom, one trade like that and you're done. You can be done for the day. Now let's get where we need to be. Sometimes, and this is a bad, especially it happens, won't happen to everyone that's not, when I'm moderating a room, there are times when I'll be going back and showing an example of something, and then I'll forget to take it all the way back to this side. You don't want to do that. Okay, these are starting to grow. These are starting to grow. Okay, this is making a little bit more sense to me here. Now, let's see what happens. I'm not off the flat trend line yet, not through this volume zone. Let's see what happens. But this is piquing my interest here. Something happened to my connection here. Okay, hang on, everyone. Okay, something happened with my connection. That's not good. What I'll tell you what's happening is I'm not getting
Order submitted. Order filled.
what happened is I have a timer that's not working right now. So I'm going a little, I think we're okay. Now what I'm trying to do is, got it. Love that sound. Now when these start to go orange, I get a little concerned because I'm losing, I'm losing the, I'm losing some of the power. Still above the explosion index. This is still squeezing, but it's, you know, hey, we made the profit, will it run? That's basically. And since I I go for a first target and my second target goes break even, sometimes that's all you get.
Stop
And that's all
fill.
we got at this time. But this needs to stay strong for this to keep on working its way down. Now, if I'm doing a reversal, and we really don't, the reversal you can only anticipate it's going back to the 50 line. Okay, let's put this under here. And also I've got my fractal here that I drew this blue line in here at the 42 level. And that's always been a level where it either goes through it and it starts to reverse, or it will go through it and kind of like lay on it. And that's usually when something will start to run. But if it gets too much below this level, it usually has a tendency to do a reverse. Now, when I'm looking at a reversal, obviously I'm looking for this to break down. I like to see this dot go gray, and I want this to start having different colored brushes, and this brush to go away, go underneath this orange line. Now, we need to see an example of that because I said a whole lot right there. Then yesterday I did a recording, and I really did a deep dive into what these brushes and how they work with the money flow tracker, and it really for me it made a lot of sense, and it kind of told me what is the potential for this thing to actually run, or if maybe I need to cut my losses. Or, maybe I see this thing starting to reverse. Maybe if I'm managing the trade myself, maybe I need to push it down and get as close to the wick as possible and get as much money as we can. Now, here again, I'm looking now. Is this thing going to go up? Well, this is still pretty red. This is still pretty red. These brushes, let's look at the brushes. They're still orange. They're still above this explosion zone here. I think this is probably going to be a weak pullback. I don't even know if it's going to get to the 50. But what I do like about these charts, as we're going into a close today, we are trading below the VWAP, which is nice. I do have an 89 chart, which I just look and see where the overall trend is, and it looks like we're getting almost a fresh cross right here between the 50 and the trend line. In the past, that has been a good indicator that this could, fresh crosses I always like in trading the money flow tracker. Love the fresh cross. And maybe the first bounce. After that, not a big advocate of those trades. Well, let's see what happens. I'm getting brushes here. No, this isn't giving me any sign that this is super strong. So let's just hold off on it. And what I'd like to do is see if I can take some of this I'm trying to talk to Right Line about seeing if there's a way that we can, especially when we're using the Signal C, which is one of the auto trade setup, to see if this can be used in conjunction with the C indicator to help take a trade. It does have some pretty interesting. See, you have to have it in relationship to what the 30 or the 50 is doing, and if this says go with brushes, it's going to go. At least that's how I see it. Okay, I expected a little bit more. Maybe in the last half hour we'll get some movement here. I'm just looking at the power, trying to match a bar to a brush. You can also look at it that way. Bar to a brush to a quant to a power dot to a C2. And we have really low volume for this time of for the closing session. Good brush here. Good brush here. Okay, we might be getting something. Let's see if I can do something here with my bar timer. There we go. Okay, we're out of the box right now that we drew. Brush. This is growing. Let's see if we got something here. We do have to get through a pivot. Okay, our like gear crossed over. That's good. Let's get through this pivot here. Let's get this brush a little bit higher. But it's got my interest now. Now I lock into it. And I go, okay, is this going to make sense? We just have to get through. Make sure things line up. I'd like to see this fractal going down too. Got good bias. Everything is locking in. But we've reached this before, so I kind of want to see what the next bar is going to do. looks like it's we really need volume to really trade this. This is just, I like to see this at least up over 500. I love this pullback here, but I just think it might be a little premature. We should clear this pivot. Now, the nice thing is all the higher time frames. Whoop, that just, well, looks like it's turning. Now the nice thing is if you did want to game it a little bit and say, okay, I'm gonna grab this, if it closes below this wick here, that would be a sell on down close. You could have put that order in, no harm, no foul, didn't go against you, but it just wasn't quite there yet. We can actually get rid of this right now. Okay, we're starting to come alive again. Brushes up, brushes up. Like this, I'm a little, well, maybe I will.
Order submitted.
I think it might be a little early.
Order filled.
Okay, all that pent up energy. Let's see if it goes. Now we could also, if you're a little, you could always take out a little profit if you felt like it's going against you. I think we're going to get it. Oh, don't like that look. This is not looking good. Okay. Now it's going back in my favor. Okay. You know,
Order filled.
It's taking too long. I can always get back into it. Just didn't like it. It's just this is turned orange. I mean, this needs to grow and this needs to be red. It's just two weakening areas, has me a little concerned. Like I said, I can always jump in, but it's just has me a little, it probably would have got me a first target. Now look, I got out right here. My first target was probably right there. Hasn't gotten there yet. And I've got a C2, but I don't have an acceleration dot. So, yeah, we got a little money out of it. Not much. See, I don't like orange bars here. This turned orange here. It's still pretty high, but this is weakening here. Just not ready yet. And here again, we could have waited, going back to rules of trading the money flow tracker. You really want 3/4 of a bar of a box through here, at least, with a big pullback. So really wouldn't have been this one. We got a little excited on this one. And thankfully we took it out for a little profit, because that would have given us a full loss. So now let's look at the reversal part of it. This is green. This hasn't given up enough yet. This has to kind of disappear and start going green. You're not going to get bias. Not even close to getting any bias in this. And this has to kind of disappear, but you can only assume this is going to go to the 50. So, not a whole lot of room here. I know a lot of people like these signals here. You could say it's a double bottom. I'm going to buy right here. It would have given you a first target, but it's a little aggressive for my style. But it worked. See, if this thing, for this thing to take off, this has to grow, this has to disappear. It's going to hit the 50, it's going to hit the 50 here, and act as a level of support or resistance. That's why I like having 30 ranges and 50 ranges when I'm trading. I like to see where the 50 moving averages in relationship to the price. I like seeing where it goes flat, so I can draw my box around it and do a breakout from that box. The problem is we're just not getting any follow through because we have no volume. You know, one way you can look at it too, and there's different ways to train your eyes to look at this, is that you can say, okay, I want to trade when my, and you can do this with either 30 or 50 or both, when I have red, and bias, I'm looking for a trade. And I think this could even work with the auto trader and the 30 range chart that we use for the auto trader. I think this would work really well, actually. You know, trade these when the brushes get above. Okay. This trade is done when it turns or it goes below. trade this. This is tradable. This is tradable, and it went right through the VWAP. You might want to wait till we clear a 50. We're still good. Right here, tradable. There's a lot of ways you can adapt it. Like I said, just looking at things. Same with the 50. Anytime you have this, you want to start looking for a trade in here. Now this is a pullback to the 50. Now let's see what happens as this starts to build up through here. Okay, now I'm not going to have bias. Bias is a relationship of the, in this case, this is set at a 30 bias. If this was set at 21, I'd have a 21 range chart here. This is set at 30. When you have price below and you have red and red on your 50, red on your trend line, you're going to get the pink bias. If it goes flat, starts yellow here, you're going to get that blue bias. We don't have a sign of this. When it is, this would be pink bias over here. When price goes above, let's say this is green. I don't really see one right here. Oh, right here it would be. Price is above, and this is green, and green hasn't shot through yet. You'll get that turquoise bias over here. Same thing goes with red. Okay. Price is below, red, pink. When it's approaching but hasn't crossed yet, you get that bisque bias, and when it is below like this should actually be a light pink bias over here. Oh no, the price has to be below for a light pink. And now we've got and this is how we get a C2. When it goes pink, price is below. So when you put this all together, it really can assist you in your trading decision. Now, when it's a choppy market, you don't get the follow through. It can be a little bit more challenging. Like yesterday, I traded 2 trades pre-market. Hit $650, and I was pretty much done trading a live account for the day. I traded some more through the room, got another 1,000, and then I did some dumb trades, and I ended up with about 600 at the end of the day. But I did something. As soon as I entered a trade, I I looked over at the chart and went, why did I do that? And it just moved so fast it took me out for a loss. But it was one of those things where I was I didn't wait for the final brush to do what it had to do. I kind of gamed it a little bit, and it took me right out. But I think I did 22 trades and had, I think I had 3 losers. Not too bad. A lot of first targets. I mean, you know, it was just the market. Last week I had $1,000 trade. Love those. That just set up perfectly with the brushes, the money flow tracker, and it just ran. It had great follow through, and I took it out right when these started diminishing, and then it went up a little bit more, and then it took it out, and where it exited me on would have been about the same exact price on exit on line change. So it's perfect. Okay, now this is starting to interest me soon. Okay, this is starting to... No, not yet. This is still green. It's gonna hit this volume zone. Might as well move this down here. Okay, so it's rolling. Went back up. We got a C2 right away without even any bias because of why? Because price is below and it's red. Okay, let's get a nice red brush up here. Still green, so this isn't going anywhere yet. This still needs to do its thing. So it's kind of like holding. It's in a holding pattern right now. Plus, I don't have any quants yet. Oh wow, almost in the last 20 minutes, this should start to move. It's kind of stuck. And you can also combine this chart. You can do something like this. You can combine them into one chart and just follow it this way. I've done that before. This is associated with this one. The bottom one's associated with that. And if this helps you. I kind of like having them separate though. Okay, well, it looks like we've gone flat here, so we know we're going to have to break this volume zone. Well, you know, hey, if we only get 130 bucks trading today, that is what it is. I'm not complaining about it. There really hasn't been anything that was that tradable in the last hour. Since 12 o'clock. That's been it. We just got to get through this, and if not, we've got to get through this 50 here. So we're prepared for either way. It's just a matter of letting the market do its thing. I got the dog barking in the background. Okay, so he'll be part of, he'll be okay. All right, this needs to pop through. At least this went green here. Usually this, so with this type of power, maybe it'll pop through. We've got green. This looks like it could move. Gave us, this is the approach bias right here. Price is above. It's green, but it's kind of going neutral. Now this will be a gap type of trade in here. If this gets over, if price gets over, we get off the flat trend line. This will be what we used to call a gap 50 trade. You can trade it up to this area, but look at our these two black lines. This is your 200 EMA and 200 SMA in here. Someone told me to put that in the charts in the room today. And you've got the VWAP, the 50, and the 200 EMA and 200 SMA all coming to a point. Now that just tells me If these are all coming together, and if this 50 crosses here, this thing's going down. But don't think it's going to happen in the next 10 minutes. Okay, we're getting some volume kicking in here.
Order submitted.
But is it just based on one candle? That could be. Let's monitor this. You know, I'm not off my flat 50. That does have me a little concerned. I'm getting a little spread here, which I like. Fractals down, power dot. Up, up. Well, I don't like it.
Order canceled.
My flat 50. I don't, you know, it's silly sometimes. You get excited. You haven't traded for a while, and you're like going, okay, this thing's gonna pop, and then you have to think it through. Is there something I'm missing here? And do I really want to go into my 200? My VWAP and 50. You really think it hasn't moved all day? Is it going to punch right through it? You know, that's what happens when you get a little spike in volume. You get like, oh, I can do this. And it's just like, you know what? Well, maybe we're not there yet. The overall trend is still down. So would we be better off? Is it a more prudent use of our money to look more for something that is, instead of retracing back, to go with the trend? We still have some hurdles to get through here. This never turned green. I shouldn't say that. It did for a little bit because we got this, and then it went away as soon as it went neutral. Let's see if we get something in the next 8 minutes. I like the brush up. This is weak, but that can happen. After a pullback, this can go down, but then we have to prefer to wait. But don't like losing this dot here. But here again, it might be a new trade setup. Trying to get my bias back. See, when it flickers green, price is above, it turns bisque. I'm sorry, it turns that turquoise color. This is still green. This is weakening. It's just chop. And if this is going down, if that's the case, with this thing rising up here, well, I can't trade that with this still up, and this still up. This is just not going to work. Now it could just run real quick and turn the colors, but maybe on a news event. Or maybe if the market makers turn around and say, hey, we've had enough of this, let's just crush this market. But I don't know. Let's see what happens. Okay, this is starting to get red. Okay, like it. Going down. Okay, these quants are good enough to trade. Let's see. Well, there we go. Well, things are starting to move. Let's see if this turns red down here. We might have something. It's starting to push its way down. This is getting okay. Okay, maybe if it disappears, I might have something. I gotta get through. I don't know if I have enough muscle. I do have a C2. I do have acceleration dots. Do I want to game this the volume zone? We've hit this low before. We really need to get on the other side of it. Now, if this turns red, we might have something. I got a C2. Look at this. This is look at that little green stick up there. I don't like that. There we go. Might have just been a pop. Got excited there for a second. There we go. Let's get on the other side of this. Let's be smart about it. I do like this big bar right here. I mean, this should push this through, but look at all these pullbacks. That is... Boy, if this was on the other side of this volume zone, I'd be a lot happier, but... Big brush, losing a little bit. This brush isn't, this is just not coming up. And this will work so much better with these brushes in line. We're just not doing it. You know, could have you gotten in here? And that's a little dicey. So this helped me from not gaming this bar here. So do we have a turnaround? Let's see. Well, this is green. Higher charts are trying to push this up. Let's see what happens. Let's see this disappear. But we can only assume it's going to go to the 50. So I'm not really feeling it. No, it doesn't. There's just not enough factors in here. If this was already green going up and then this started popping up, I'd say, yeah, we might have something. But it's not going to happen. Not today. All right, well, for those who are members of my morning room, I guess we'll see you tomorrow. And in the YouTube, we'll do another one on Tuesday morning. And that's pretty much going to wrap it up. Let's see if we have another chance on this. Tested it. Let's see if it'll test it again. We got to get 3/4 of a bar. Now, let's see if we get a pullback.
Order submitted.
No, it didn't take my trade.
Order filled. Order filled.
I took it out only because it was hitting the volume zone. I think it might punch through it. I might have gotten out too early, but hey, 250 for the day. I'll take it. But it looks like it's going to run. This is pushing, this is pushing, this is pushing. It's got a little, probably, if I would have stayed in here, that would have given me a first target. Now it's going to run a little bit, maybe. It's got to get through this volume zone. It's got a big brush, though. Should push it through. All right, might have gotten out a little early. Let's see where it ends up. Plus, it's the close. So, of course, it's going to start moving. The market's closed. All right. Well, I guess that's it for me today. Well, not great, not bad. At least we didn't lose any money. Made 250. So now we could have made a little bit more, probably 300. This thing's still going down. But gotta be careful with this volume zone. Volume zone. Big brush though. Let's see if it punches through. Oh yeah. Oh, that would have been nice. Okay, low of session right here. All right. Well, we left some money on the table. All right. Well, that is it for me. Let's see if this is done. Yeah, I left a little bit. That's all right. All right, everyone. Have a blessed rest of your day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning if you're part of the room, and Tuesday if you subscribe to the YouTube channel. All right, everyone. We'll see you again soon. Have a blessed rest of your day.